Hi everybody, we're back for another lesson on order of operations. Sorry, I'm thinking y'all making fun of my intro. Oh well. Sorry if it's really noisy. I have the air conditioner on, so I can't really change it. I'm still in the classroom. But I'm gonna try to talk really loud. I hope that works. And I'm gonna look like a fool to anyone walking by, but I do it for you guys. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. So, multiplying radicals is probably one of the easiest operations to do with radicals, because all you have to do is multiply the radicands. This is the stuff underneath the radical. You just multiply those together, and then multiply any numbers that are outside of the radicals together to make it one big problem, and then you just go ahead and simplify it. Okay? So let's look at an example. Remember that if I'm going too fast or you miss something, go ahead and pause the video or go back or whatever. Take your time through it, because it's going to be very, very helpful to know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we have two radicals being multiplied together. So what I actually do is I'm going to multiply the -3 and the 2 together and keep that on the outside of one big radical. And I'm going to multiply all the stuff that's inside the radical together. So it looks like this. That's what it looks like location-wise. And then I actually do the multiplication. -3 times 2 is just -6. 56 times 8 is a big number that I'll find out in a second. And can't do anything with the x's because it's only the one x. And then y times y squared, I can add the exponents and I get y to the third. Oh, it gives me 448. There you go. Okay? So now it's just one big problem, and we can all simplify this kind of problem because we've done it. We did it in class for the last few days, or for the last couple of days. So we have 144. Oh, there's my cake. Cool. 144, I can put 2 into it. It gives me 224. Divide it by 2. You guys might pick different numbers, which is totally fine. But it's what's on the outside of the cake that matters. So, and then I get 112, which I can divide by 2. I get 56, which I can divide by 2. I get 28, which I can divide by 2. And then I get 14, which I can divide by 2. And then I get 7, which I can divide by 2, leaving me with 1 on top. Okay? So I did it the long way again. And then I also expanded out my x and y's. Now, I did it the long way. You guys are more than welcome to do it the short way that I showed you in class. Okay? Where you circled the stuff on the cake and divided the exponents. That's totally fine. So, but here I have something that's annoying me. There we go. I have triple 2's here because I'm looking for triples because it's a cube root. Triple 2's here. No triple 7's, no triple x's, but triple y's. So all those triples get to move to the outside with that -6. So now I have -6 times this 2, times this 2, times this y, times the cube root of the leftovers, 7x times x. So now I just go ahead and multiply. So that gives me 24y times the cube root of 7x squared, because x times x is x squared. So that's all it is. Okay? So go ahead and try this one on your own right now. Remember, you're just multiplying the stuff under the radical together and the stuff outside the radical together. Okay? When you come back, I will have an answer for you. Yes, I will. Okay? Pause the video, and I'll see you in a few seconds. Minutes, probably. Okay, welcome back. So, when you multiply this together, 14n squared times n, or 8n, and then there's nothing in front of this radical, so just -2 still on the outside. When you simplify it, you actually get -4n times the cube root of 14. Okay? So, if you have a question on this, you're not sure how to get this answer, please make a note and ask me in class, and we can go over it. Remember, this homework is not going to be due until Thursday or Friday next week. So that is March 2nd and 3rd. So 2nd for Orange Day, 3rd for the White Days. Okay? Alright. Now, something really important to remember is that you can't multiply them together unless they have the same root. So they both have to be square roots. So they both have to be cube roots or fourth roots or whatever. You can't multiply a square root times a cube root. It doesn't work that way. Just keep that in mind, okay? The next thing we have to learn is adding and subtracting radicals. Now, you can only add or subtract if the radicals are the same. So everything that's inside the radical has to be identical to add them. Once they are, then we can add or subtract the numbers on the outside. So those are the only things we're adding or subtracting together. It's stuff on the outside. We can't do anything with the inside. That's why we need them to match. So 2 steps. We just go ahead and simplify both the radicals as far as we can. And if the radicals are the same, we go ahead and add and subtract the numbers on the outside. And multiply it with the common radical. And this just means put it in front of the common radical. And don't forget about an invisible 1 that could be in front of a radical. If the radicals aren't the same though, we just have to leave it as is. So let's try one. Okay, so we have the square root of 20 plus the square root of 125. So we actually have to simplify these first. My cakes are really low. So the first one, I'm going to do the cake for 20. So 20 I can divide by, what did I do? I divide it by 2, I get 10, which I can divide by 2, gives me 5, which gives, I can divide by 5, give me 1. So the pair of 2's goes to the outside and the 5 goes on the inside. And 125, I can divide by 5, which gives me 25, which I can divide by 5. Where's my 5? There it is. Which gives me 5, which I can divide by 5, give me 1. So that's a pair of 5's as well. Gets on the outside, but one single 5 stays on the inside. Oh, sorry. And I go ahead and all those pairs we already talked about. Gives me 2 times the square root of 5 plus 5 times the square root of 5. So this one has the same radical. Okay, this is very similar to like terms. They have the same radical, so they're like terms. So that means I can add their coefficients together. The 2 and the 5, giving me 7 square root of 5. 7 square root of 5 is my final answer. Okay, so you guys are going to try one on your own now, and you're going to simplify both of them. Okay, hopefully you get the same radical, and then you can add the coefficients together. If not, you're done then. Okay, so take a few minutes, try this problem. When you come back, I'll have the answer for you. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, so when you simplified it, what you should have gotten, why is my answer so far down, is -5 square root of 2. Okay, there we go. That would be your answer. Is that right? Yeah, it is. Sorry, it took me a minute. Yeah, sorry. Yep, so that's it. So if you have a question, write it down. We'll answer it in class. Okay? And then here's a subtraction one. You're doing the exact same thing. You have to simplify both radicals first. Hope that you get the same radical, and then you can subtract the numbers in front together. Like, you can subtract them from each other and keep the same radical. If they aren't the same, though, you have to leave it as is. So here we go ahead and I did our birthday cake over here. So 32, again, I can divide by 2, which gives me 16. Divide that by 2, gives me 8. Divide that by 2, gives me 4. Divided by 2, 2, 2, 1. And my 18, I can divide by 3, gives me 6. Divide that by 3, gives me 2. And then I get my 1. So I just wrote it out the long way. And I get a triple, if I can figure, oh, no. Oh, technology hates me. So, see, it really does hate me. So I get a triple of 2's here, because I need triples because it's a cube root. And I wrote in the 1 because it didn't have a coefficient there. I wanted to make sure I knew what it was. But over here, I have no triples, so I gotta leave it as is. So what I end up getting is I move that 2 to the outside, and I go ahead and simplify. I get 2 to the cube root of 4 minus 6 to the cube root of 18. They're not the same, so I can't subtract them. So I would just leave them as is. Okay? Now, this one you're going to go ahead and try on your own. Simplify both radicals, and then go ahead and do the subtraction on the outside, if you have the same. Take a minute. When you come back, I'll have the answer. Okay. So, when you got this, what you should have gotten is -9 square root of 5. because this one come out to be negative 6 square root of 5, and use negative 6 minus 3 gives you negative 9. So that would be your answer. Okay? If you have a question, mark it or doggy ear it, whatever it's called, and we can come back to it in class. Alright, now the rest of this is for honors classes. Honors classes have to do dividing radicals as well. So if you are not in an honors class, your video is done. So you have a nice day, and I will see you in class. If you are in honors, you have to continue. If you aren't in honors and would like to continue, you are more than welcome to. Okay, so let's get started. So dividing radicals has to do with rationalizing the denominator. Okay, and when we have a radical in simplest form, we actually can't have a radical in the denominator. So we have to take a couple of steps. One, we have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the radical that's in the denominator. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like. Two, we have to simplify both the top and bottom now, and then we can simplify the whole fraction. Okay, it sounds really complicated, but it's really not that bad. Alright, remember, if I'm going too fast, pause the video so you can get everything down. Alright, so here's one where we have a radical in the denominator, and that's not allowed. So, to get it out of the denominator, what we're going to do is we're actually going to multiply the denominator by the square root of 15 and the numerator. Okay? Because when I have something like this kind of fraction, where it's the same number on top and bottom, that's equal to 1. And when I multiply by it, it doesn't really change anything. Okay? So now, I can go ahead and multiply these radicals together, because we already talked about how to multiply radicals. Just everything under the radical gets multiplied together. So 12 times 15 and 15 times 15, that will actually give us 4 square root of 180 over the square root of 225. And then we can go ahead and simplify that by doing the birthday cake. Did I do the birthday cake here? Yeah, I don't think I did. I did it in my head. So what I actually got was 180. I split it into 2, 2, 3, 5, and 5. And 225 can split into 5, 5, 3, 3. So I look for doubles because it's a square root. So I have a double of 2 and a double of 5. So that gets moved over. And these doubles of 5 and this double of 3 get moved out as well. So now I have this. And I just go ahead and simplify it. Where's my simplified? So I get 40 square root of 3 over 15. Something I want you guys to look at really quickly. When we multiply the denominator by itself, the square root actually cancels out and we're left with what was under the radical, 15. So that could be your shortcut if you don't want to try to do this again. Okay? You could have also noticed the square root of 225 is 15. Okay? We'll talk about this more in class. Alright? But now we just need to simplify the fraction. 40 over 15 we can simplify, and we actually get, where is this going to go? 40 and 15 have 5 in common, so we can go ahead and divide both 40 and 15 by 5 and get 8 over 3, and then times the square root of 3. So that's what it would look like. And that's how we divide radicals. We can't do any more than that. Okay, so you're going to try one on your own right now. Here's a little hint. 2 divided by 2 is what? Yeah, so it's 1, so that would actually cancel out. So that's my hint to get started. So you don't have to worry about these anymore. You just have to deal with the square root of 12 over the square root of 20. Okay? So go ahead and do this. When you come back, I'll have an answer. Okay? Alright, so, welcome back. Should have gotten an answer. And your answer actually comes out to be the square root of 15 over 5. But you can't simplify anymore. There's nothing simple. You can't do 15 divided by 5 because it's not really 15. Anything that's under a radical can't be divided or multiplied with anything that is not under a radical. So you have to leave it like that. 15, square root of 15 over 5. Okay? So we will talk more about this in class. If you have any questions, write them down and we can answer them in class. And that's it. I will see you next class, which may be Monday, Tuesday, like Tuesday, Wednesday, definitely Thursday and Friday. But yeah, have fun at Finance Park, and I will see you later. Bye. Oh, I keep saying bye without being able to stop it. Alright, bye guys.